As we mentioned before, blood is a type of connective tissue. It has cells suspended in plasma, and plasma is the liquid matrix of blood. Blood has a pH of about 7.4 in humans, and when we're talking about blood, we're mainly talking about the blood in vertebrates. Cells make up about 45% of the blood volume. The plasma is about 90% water. Its solutes contain nutrients, waste, hormones, gases, and inorganic salts. Those inorganic salts are in the form of dissolved ions, and we call them electrolytes. The plasma proteins that are also contained in the plasma work as buffers. They work to maintain the osmotic balance between blood and interstitial fluid. They can thicken the blood. They also work as antibodies, which are part of your immune system. And some of the plasma proteins are fibrinogens, which are for clotting. If we combine plasma and the clotting factors, we call that serum. Red blood cells are also called erythrocytes. They are the most numerous blood cells. 1 cubic millimeter of human blood has 5 to 6 million red blood cells. 25 trillion red blood cells in the body make up 5 liters of blood fluid. The main function of red blood cells is to transport oxygen. Blood cells are small biconcave discs between 7 and 8.5 micrometers in diameter. The biconcave disc structure gives them a large surface area for rapid oxygen diffusion across the membrane. In mammals, red blood cells have no nucleus. That leaves more space for hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is an iron-containing protein that transports oxygen. Red blood cells also have no mitochondria. They make ATP anaerobically. They don't consume oxygen because they carry oxygen. Each red blood cell has 250 million molecules of hemoglobin. Each hemoglobin binds up to 4 molecules of oxygen. Therefore, one red blood cell can carry 1 billion oxygen molecules. Another type of cell found in blood is the white blood cell. These are also called leukocytes. There are 5 major types of leukocytes, and the major function of leukocytes in general is to fight infection. There are monocytes and neutrophils, which are phagocytes. And if you remember, phagocytes use extensions of the cytoplasm to engulf things. There are also basophils, eosinophils, and lymphocytes. Lymphocytes develop into B and T cells, and we'll talk about that when we get to the immune system. White blood cells spend most of their time outside of the circulatory system in the lymph and the interstitial fluid, fighting infection. 1 cubic millimeter of blood equals about 5,000 to 10,000 white blood cells. The number of white blood cells will increase with infection. Platelets are cell fragments about 2 to 3 micrometers in diameter. They have no nucleus. They come from pinched off cytoplasmic fragments of large cells in the bone marrow. They are important in clotting. Red blood cells only live for about 3 to 4 months, so phagocytic cells in the liver and the spleen destroy them. One of the major functions of your spleen is to break down old red blood cells. Cardiovascular disease are diseases of the heart and blood vessels. It causes more than half of the deaths in the United States, and diseases due to cardiovascular disease outnumber all cancers combined. A heart attack is the death of cardiac muscle due to prolonged blockage of coronary arteries. The coronary arteries actually feed the heart and supply oxygen to the heart muscle. Stroke is death of nervous tissue in the brain, and it forms from ruptured or blocked arteries. Thrombosis often cause heart attacks and strokes and can break loose and cause an embolus, eventually clogging a small artery. Atherosclerosis are growths called plaques, and they develop on the inner walls of arteries, narrowing them. Arteriosclerosis is hardening of the arteries. The plaques become hardened by calcium deposits. Hypertension, as we mentioned before, is high blood pressure. This promotes atherosclerosis. High blood pressure can damage the endothelium lining of the arteries and promote plaque formation. You can control hypertension with diet, exercise, and medication. The tendency for high blood pressure and heart disease is very much inherited. Non-genetic factors, however, that influence heart disease and high blood pressure include smoking, lack of exercise, a high-fat diet, and high cholesterol in the blood. Cholesterol travels in the blood plasma. Cholesterol molecules and lipids are bonded to proteins. LDLs, low-density lipoproteins, are bad. They cause plaque. HDLs, or high-density lipoproteins, are good, and they reduce deposits. Exercise can increase HDLs. Smoking can decrease HDLs. An artificial pacemaker is implanted with using tiny electrodes near the AV node. It emits electrical signals that trigger normal heartbeats. In certain kinds of heart disease, the heart's self-pacing system fails, and an artificial pacemaker can be extremely helpful.